Presenting you the next speakers. So the description of them. So in the meantime, everybody takes seat. We have Sandra Hofmeister, architect, editor-in-chief of Detail, and responsible for the reviews, online platforms, and books of Detail since 2016. Besides her editorial skills, Sandra works as a moderator and participant in international panels and juries. Frano Peter Zovko, born, you can take the microphone, born in 1985, graduated from the Faculty of Architecture in Zagreb. His articles have been published in Vizcultura online magazine. He's one of the authors of the Reality of Space program and the third channel of Croatian radio. He's currently working at Oris magazine. Manon Mollard, architectural designer and writer, born in France, raised between Europe and Latin America. She studied at the Architectural Association, worked in Colombia, and is currently based in London, where she features as editor of the Architectural Review. And our great friend, DPR Barcelona, is an architectural research practice and independent publishing house based in Barcelona, founded by Ethel, Baraona, Paul, and César Reyes Nayera, dealing with three main lines: publishing, criticism, and curating. Their work explores how architecture as discipline reacts in the intersection with politics, technology, economy, and social issues. Archadvisor for Volume, their work has been published in a wide range of online and printed publications. Since 2016, DPR Barcelona is platform member of Future Architecture. So, Sandra, if you want to start with your short presentation and one case of success and one unsuccess, as we asked to the other panels.
So I thank you very much for being here. It is a pleasure to me, and it has often been said in the last panels that communicating architecture is a very, very important issue. I think it is, and we are all, in the business of communicating architecture, and I think it is very important that we are aware how we communicate it, which channel we use, and so on. So this is an experience I do very often, not only as a professional journalist, but also when teaching at the Technical University in Munich. I have the idea that all the students, the architectural students, they know they have to communicate and they have to explain their designs and the architecture, but they are not trained how to do it. So thanks for the opportunity. So I wanted to give you a very short glimpse of Detail. I hope many of you know Detail. There is a difference in regard of the other panels. We also communicate architecture, but exclusively to architects. So we are a brand that is not communicating to the general public. I think we have the same ideas, of course, as it was also part of the first panels before. We think that architecture really matters. It can really improve lives. It is really a public and a political issue, and we try to look behind the scenes of architecture. So how is it made? What are the construction details? What are the materials? And so on. So our editorial office is based in Munich, and when it comes to Detail, Detail is the name of a brand. I'm joining Detail since 3 years, but the brand was the magazine was founded in 1962. It's quite a young magazine, and it has not really changed. since 62. We did a slight an update of our layout this year, but that was, I think, the first one, and had never changed, and it has a very clear message. It has details, so it is very easy to explain. The name of the brand is our core content of the magazine. So you probably, if you hear the name Detail, you probably know the magazine. We have our magazine is in German and English, and we also have a Chinese and English edition. The German and English edition is published 10 times a year, and the Chinese and English edition 6 times a year. We have a print run of 32,000 copies. We have 15,000 readers in the German-speaking world and about 15,000 in the rest of the world. Our distribution is international. So we cannot even say that our main market is in Germany, because half of our print run goes to the rest of the world, and not only to Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. So the editorial office is based in Munich. We have quite a big editorial office. I will explain you then why. So my team, we are 19 employees. We have 13 editors that are exclusively working on the magazine, and we are preparing right now our October and November issue. So we have a team of 6 people working on the October issue and a team of 6 people working on the November issue. In those 6 people do also include at least 2 draftsmen. So we not only have the editors, but we have also a draftsman department, and we do all the drawings in-house by ourselves. So we do not publish the floor plans or section or detail sections of architects. We do them all by ourselves, which is sometimes a little bit complicated, because architects can be complicated. But I will tell you more about this maybe later. So this is a couple of covers I brought with me, as our focus is on technical, on construction details. We also very clearly communicate this on the cover. And then when it comes to the daily work, Detail is much more than a magazine, and that's also why our editorial team is so big. So we have we consider ourselves as editors who provide content, and we have different content within the Detail brand. We have totally different target groups, because even if we communicate exclusively to architects, in our view, architects they are a very, very huge target group. They have totally different interests. We have young architects who never read Detail magazine because they only have a look on our online websites. We have architects that know Detail only from the books we do. So this is to give you an idea what we do and how we do. We have 2 magazines, which is Detail, the bilingual magazine 10 times a year, and then we launched another magazine this year, which is called Structure. It's a magazine that is communicating to structural engineers, because we made the experience that structural engineers, they are very, very, very important to some of the architectural projects, and they are always behind the architects. So we wanted to give them a platform by their own, and to make them communicating better through this magazine. It's also an English and German magazine. Then we have books. Maybe many of you know the construction manuals of details, because they have been published since many years, and there have been also Spanish editions, French editions, Chinese editions, Japanese editions. We still do those construction manuals. We are right about publishing a construction manual on recycling. So this is where we put a focus on building as a resource, as an energy resource, but also as a material resource you can reuse after, a building has been destroyed. We work together for books. We work together with different authors. Very important for us, many photographers. And I'm happy that Ducho Malagamba is here today. And we also work together with research teams from different universities. We did a book, for example, with a young research team from the ETH in Zurich last year. We are working right now on a book on robotic architecture, robotic building, with an international team from the Bartlett School. And our recycling manual is a work that is done by 3 or 4 research teams in German universities, and they work on a manual, I think, 2 or 3 years. So it's quite an effort to do, to put all this in the end in a book. So those are our books. They are published in German and English, and we have about 18 books a year. And the content of those books is organized, sometimes also written, and or planned by our editorial team. So we do not make a big difference between books and the magazine, but we try to take an advantage to have both. So then we have, of course, a digital archive, which is behind a paywall, which is also very important for us. Why? Because as I think this is quite an ordinary and normal development nowadays, that the print run of magazines is going down and down and down. So detail, we lose about 1,000 subscriptions per year, which is quite a lot, but we gain more than 1,000 subscribers to our digital archive. And the content of the digital archive is the PDFs of our magazines. So that's quite good for us. You can be a subscriber to the digital archive as well. Then we have online platforms. We have 5 online platforms, German and English, and there has to be content on those platforms, of course, as well. And we don't have an exclusively specialized online editorial team, but it's we are doing the content for our online platforms as well. And then, of course, we have social media. As all of you know, it can be very refreshing also for a journalist who is working for a printed magazine to sometimes use social media, because you get an immediate and quick response, which can be very nice. Yes. And I see that only parts of I can explain. Only parts of my of this slide are coming well here. So we work together with 2 other departments in our editorial house. We very closely work together with those 2 departments. One department, which is the smaller one on the right angle, is another editorial team. So we have 2 editorial teams with Ethel. It's the product editorial team. Why are we separated? We are separated because the product editorial team is much more into advertising, so they are much more near to industries. They do the second part of Detail magazine when it comes to, product news and so on. They also do corporate publishing for a couple of big companies. They do, regular magazines. They do advertorials, and they organize events. They organize congresses, workshops, They organize also a detailed scholarship, they organize a detailed prize, and so on. So this is a little bit what Eva said yesterday. So we consider ourselves not only a magazine, but a platform for several things. And we try to catch our readers and get them with different, opportunities. The text on our online platforms are totally different than the content in the magazine, for example. We would never, ever publish our drawings for free in the internet. Never, ever. So this is for sure. And then we have a small draftsman department. They are working very closely together with us. We have 6 or 7 employed draftsmen. It can be sometimes very hard for us as editors to know how the drawing should be. It's a lot of, research to find out. Why? Because in most of the cases, even the architects do not know. So that's why we have to contact then specialized planners. We are often, talking to facade planners, lighting planners, to contractors, and so on. We also have examples where we get a floor plan and a picture, and we say this cannot be the same. And then it turns out that the architects had no clue that the building has been built in a totally different way. And this happens very, very, very often. There is only a few countries, I think, in Europe where this is, or a few also architectural offices where this never happens, and you can ever be sure that the partner in charge knows the details of the flooring and what else, but I would say it is an exception. So, in the core of our magazine are documentations. So, what we call documentations? We have 7 documentations in every magazine. This is an example in our next issue that will be published soon, that I brought with me. And there you see that it is very, very important for us to communicate architecture in plans, floor plans, sections, and details, but also in photographs. I mean, architects are